Look at this merch. Isn't it great? Don't you agree that my goods are first rate? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who weighs everything? I've got premium Blu-rays aplenty. I've got coasters and stickers galore. You want full factions? I've got 90. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. Character pins, red dragonins, plushy depictions of Grindelwald and Sigmund Mortimer Deborah. There's a link down below. That's where to go to purchase this merch.
There we go. I was watching the delayed stream and then was like, it's not. Why does it say it's about to end? This ad isn't ending yet. And then OBS was like, boop, we're done. And I was like, oh, whoops. Yeah, we are done. Hey, everybody. Welcome to RPG Help Desk. After a brief blank screen. We are doing just Q&A today. So if you got a question, get them in. And I get to do Q&A with a delightful person, Kendo.
Oh, well, thank you. You're rather delightful as well. Thank you for having me
I
on.
appreciate it. Thank you. Kendo, what's the coolest stuff that you do that people can know so they know how trustworthy you are with the answers that you will give?
Understandable. I will do it in a way that I normally wouldn't, but in a way that I think other people would yell at me if I didn't. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. My name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. I use any all pronouns. I am the media production manager of Kobold Press, which means I'm mostly on the marketing team, and I get to make videos and talk to people about playing TTRPGs. And I am the creator and host of the award-winning actual play podcast, Tales Yet Told, which tells stories at the intersection of queerness and horror using indie TTRPGs. And that's the thing. Normally I don't really care about the award winning, but I do have friends who are like,
Ooh,
you should start saying
Yeah.
it. And that's like fine. I guess. It's cool. But yeah.
It is cool. No, that's like
That's me.
if you get New York Times bestseller once, that will
You
be
have
on
to keep saying it. You
every
have to
book.
say it.
It
Yeah.
will be stickered on the front of it. Like you have to.
It's good marketing in a way that I detest, but in a way that is necessary to navigate through the world.
It's
But yeah.
yeah, marketing is a weird thing. Is like being creative people in creative industries where it's like, oh, you need to let people know what this is, and you
Yes.
do need to give them some criteria so they will hopefully care. And like
Yes.
sometimes marketing buzzwords are helpful for very specific reasons.
Yeah. It is like it does kind of suck that the world works in this way
Mm-hmm.
as a creative. But there is an aspect of, well, the world works this way. Fighting against it is difficult, and if you do not have the resources to be able to be someone who doesn't have to do that,
Right.
then it will be hard for you to succeed. And so
Mm-hmm.
knowing buzzwords to use, knowing like there's so much like I was seeing a conversation that someone was talking about not that long ago, that at a certain point, like PBTA, or like powered by the apocalypse, is just a marketing term, which like to a degree in which, like, because PBTA is in and of itself more of a philosophy and less of a hard system, which you can tell by the vast array of PBTA games. Like, technically Blades in the Dark is PBTA, but it is so stripped from the mechanical language of it that people don't use that term as much. But when it came out, it was like, oh yes, this is an extension of that philosophy. So labeling it as PBTA, or labeling anything as PBTA, is mostly a marketing thing. However, that language does help because people know what to expect, and if they know what to expect, they're more likely to spend money on it.
Yeah,
And that's the cycle.
that's very true, because I want to play more games. I love RPGs. I'm fine playing small indie games, big huge games, doesn't matter. But if someone just goes, here's a tabletop RPG, it's like, You gotta give me more than that. Like, please just give. Like, what direction is this?
Right. It is, yeah. Like gone are the days where like an artist, a company, or whatever could just drop a new thing and be like, "Hey, here's this thing, come and get it," and people would come in droves. Like people now have so much information that is presented to them
Mm-hmm.
that anything that you can do to help make it easier to help them understand what your thing is, be that a TTR, like be that a book, be that a podcast, be that your own personal branding. It
Mm-hmm.
just is what it is.
I think.
I
Oh, go ahead.
detest marketing as much as I understand.
It's a useful thing to understand because it is also a thing that if you understand it, you can avoid some of the pitfalls. Meredith D
Yeah,
bringing up like don't use too many marketing terms. Like exactly, if it's
yeah,
all buzzwords, it's just as worthless as saying don't you want to play my game, and then that's the end of it. Like is it
exactly.
video game? Is it choose your own adventure? Like what are we talking about? Is it tag? Like
Yeah,
I need more.
yeah,
So yeah, that it's
yeah.
a delicate thing to balance. Speakeasy mentioning before, saying you can't just say Chris Nolan, you have to say Oscar award winning director Christopher Nolan. Yeah, that's
Exactly,
helpful.
exactly. It tragically is helpful.
Yeah,
So I have started to include it.
good. You should. It's good job. Like you
Thank you.
worked hard
I
on a
appreciate
thing
it.
and got recognition for it. It's a good thing to have.
Yes, I have such a complex relationship when it comes to awards, award festivals, and like TTRPGs and actual plays specifically. I have a very complex relationship with it, where that both allow I appreciate and acknowledge what it means to win and to be acknowledged by my peers and by professionals as having done a good job at a thing. The value that that has to me outside of that acknowledgement is little.
Mm.
And I in a practice of trying to make sure that I don't overbloat my own ego, I try to hold as little value to them outside of it feels good to have done this. And it means a lot that my friends helped me make this thing and
Hmm.
that this is not just mine but theirs as well. That means something to me.
Yeah.
Um but I but also I have like a lot of feelings about how those things are like weighted, graded, and like what does it mean to win? But this is about like all trophies in general, I guess.
Hmm.
Especially, it's about grading art, and that's the thing I feel weird about. I think is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Oh man, that's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing, exactly.
Oh, and then Carnadine, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Kendo over on
Oh, thank
Twitch.
you.
So, hey, now you got a
Hell
sub for a
yeah,
month over here.
thank you.
Okay. I think there was a thing that was that was the other thing. Connecting that to RPGs of the marketing buzz terms and like
Yeah.
not
Hmm.
using too many. That is also important when you are pitching a game and like getting people on board for what you are actually wanting to run.
Yes.
Because that's
Like.
a thing we've talked about before of like, do you want your fantasy to be Game of Thrones or Monty Python or Lord of the Rings or, like
Hmm.
just where is this falling?
Yeah. Like there is like, and this is like they teach this a lot for like screenwriters and like people who will be like pitching like movies and stuff to people, but this also goes for any kind of uh story or narrative based art
Hmm.
project that you are pitching to someone, being able to relate it to existing things already that people will be familiar with, right? So being like, oh hey guys, I want to run this like campaign for you, like it's kind of like Game of Thrones, but if you added a little like Dark Souls into it as well, like
Hmm.
two very, and it's like these are the buzzwords and it sucks.
Yeah.
And it like, especially as a creator, when you were like, well my thing is my thing, I don't want it to like
Hmm.
make it feel like, oh, well, my thing is just a version of this, right? Which isn't really what that is doing, right? What you're trying to do is get at like a feeling, an emotion about like how that person experienced that one particular thing is a similar kind of experience that you want them to go through it, right?
Mhm.
You're not saying, hey, my campaign I'm pitching to you is that we're going to do Game of Thrones and then I'm going to put big giants in it that you fight, right?
Mhm.
But you're probably selling them, well, the world is going to feel large and epic with things that feel larger with you. And maybe there will be giants, right? But there's also going to be a lot of political intrigue and factions going against each other and mythology. And like there's so much there that those words mean more than just it's like Game of Thrones and almost a Dark Sun, Dark Souls together.
Yeah, and someone Meredith D brought this up because that was a thing on a video I made from going to PAX East, was like the demos of uh games playing, and that they were only those pitches where it was like it's blank
Yeah.
meets blank, and that's only helpful if you're very familiar with both of those things, and as you
Mhm.
mentioned, you're thinking about it in the same way as them, and
Yeah.
like giving that explanation of like, oh, there are things exactly what you said about Dark Souls, where it's like there are things that are larger than you. Like there are, weird things and stuff that you can't explain, and like here's the explanation of that. And also there will be political intrigue. This is the tangible stuff that you have to worry about on like the
Mhm.
social side. And then that works as, even if I've never played Dark Souls and haven't played Game of Thrones or watched Game of Thrones, it's like, oh, okay, I understand what you mean now.
Yeah. And which goes to say, if you are ever using them, you need to be able to understand what you mean by
Mhm.
saying that, so you can communicate that to people who may not understand. And so all of that to say, be intentional in what you're doing and know what you're doing,
Yeah.
know the art that you're making so that you can communicate. And it's a skill that you can practice. And you probably should if you were looking to pitch to people, or even just communicate, or like be that like financial pitching, looking for a publisher, or just looking for other people to play your game or
Mhm.
listen to your show, right? Be able to, and that's the thing that it took me forever to, I'm like still working on that, is like I don't always know how to explain what Tales Yet Told is to people,
Mhm.
because it is weird in a way that is hard to encapsulate. And so, it's a process of trying to understand the art that you're making and how you try to, and ways you try to communicate that to people.
Yeah. All right. We have a few questions. I also have some questions in general I want to ask you, but we've already got some in chat, so I'm going to ask you these. And also,
Hell yeah. Let's
uh,
just do it.
if anybody else has questions, feel free to shoot them off. I really like this from Mr. Welch. He said, after TSR's legendary Bullwinkle and Rocky RPG, why haven't we seen more games include hand puppets in their releases?
My assumption for that is the cost that it would take to make that many puppets at
Mm.
scale, depending on how many you're selling, right? You could probably do limited editions that have those things, but being able, like, that goes into not just production costs, but shipping costs, because they are going to weigh something, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you package that in a way that makes it easy for retailers to be able to have them themselves and be able to like sell them to people? It's a great gimmick. It works fine, but when it comes to like it being a logistical thing that like works out in the execution is a different thing. That's my guess. But
I Shipping is 100% manufacturing. Also, just like doing, I'm on the like merch and physical media side over here, so it's like I
mhm,
am very much aware of like, oh, this, and I've like printed zines and mailed them before, and it's a thing of like, how much does this weigh? Exactly how big is it? How big will the envelope be? How much do they weigh together? Like, what is their
mhm.
dimensions together? Where all of that is like, you're looking at all of these things for like, okay, this is how much, and then it's going to cost this much, so now I have to weigh it off that. And I think part of it, because it's the expenses like that, you're gonna have to go big to recoup that. And like
Yeah.
most things that I feel like want to do that probably don't have a set audience large enough for them to be like, we'll 100% recoup this cost and we're all going to think it's a good idea. Someone's going to be like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, because you start getting into the hundreds and hundreds of them, assuming not. I mean, if you're, I'm for maybe thousands, depending on how big of a company you are. If you're an independent designer or publisher, probably not that many, but I might be wrong. But you're multiplying the expense by that many of however much it is you're printing and shipping, and then hoping that people care enough to buy it.
Yeah. Lita Loki could bring up what's the cost of a pack of crew socks and some googly eyes. That's a great question. There's like things like that where it's like, okay, well, we could manufacture this, but now you're going, and this is like an act. This is, that's a funny comment, but also from a practical standpoint is like, who's taking time out of their workday to buy those supplies and then assemble googly eye sock puppets? Because that means somebody's not doing their job elsewhere.
Now, I think the way to get around this is have making your own sock puppet a part of play.
Oh,
if you design
sick.
your game in which a part of your game requires a session 0, where you all are creating your characters, building your world, and you could just tell them, hey, you need a sock and whatever it is that you want to decorate with it, and that becomes people make their own puppets, and you don't have to print your own.
My brain is cooking right now. You have me thinking about, okay, we make a TTRPG where you provide your own sock, and part of the rule book is like cutouts of eyes and antennas and things, and it's like whatever stats you have or like perks you're taking, you cut that out and glue that onto your sock puppet.
There you go. You just made a game.
We need to get on a game jam so we can make this.
Yeah.
I also think maybe an answer to that question is replaced by minis, where like that has become kind of a standard, and like novelty stuff like that isn't as like back of the box marketing of like, and you get this cool thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably a thing of like, I've got minis. Running to the patent office. Beat me to making that game.
Hey, we can make a sock puppet game jam where everyone has to come up with their own games in which making the sock puppet is a part of their character building process, and see all the different kind of games that come out of that.
Can we do this? I guess we can't talk about
I'm
it right
down.
now because we got. Hang on, I gotta write down.
I mean, yeah, I'm down. That sounds great.
Sock puppet game jam. Okay, cool. Yeah, great. We put this in bold and hopefully remember to read this later. That sounds so fun. Also really helpful because that's a thing that like we've talked about on here before of like signifying when someone is speaking in character versus like at the table. And like a lot of times people aren't comfortable doing accents or like voices. And like having a sock puppet talk, you don't have to change anything.
Yeah.
Unless you want to.
Yeah. That's so good. Like, and there's so much physicality that you can give a sock puppet because with it being the entire body, you don't have to move your whole body to get like a sense of its motions.
Yeah.
We're just slowly recreating puppet theater, but I think that like I think there's making it gamifying puppet theater in a way. Like, because, like, yeah, it works really easy for comedy, but I also feel like if you did like a soap opera with like a soap opera TTRPG with sock puppets, like, that's kind of really good. Honestly, that would be a great actual play. I would love for someone to record their own actual play. I might do this. To record their actual play and then redo like everyone doing sock puppets over the
over the audio. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh, that'd be
Oh
so
man,
good.
that'd be really good. That'd be really good.
Look, I'm just saying.
Sock opera. Oh my
Oh,
god.
sock opera! Hang on, Miss Harmony. I'm
That's
copying that
good.
down and putting it next to
That's so
Sock Puppet
good.
Game Jam. Uh, not to feed into this bad idea even more, but I am driving distance from you. Just saying.
That's true. We can make this happen. Like we can do this. Oh my god, that sounds so fun, actually.
Mr. Welch, if that answers your question, let us know, and if not, let us know, and we'll try again.
Passion was the exact game I was thinking
Yeah,
of as
Passions de la
well.
Passions,
Oh my god.
which I still haven't played, and
I also
still want
haven't
to.
played yet. Okay. Fuck, this is good. Okay, sorry. My brain is fully in in actual play development mode.
We
If
might,
I'm not dragged out of it.
yeah, we may derail this whole Q&A and just now game jam some sock puppet theater game.
The people yearn for sock puppet.
As they should. Look, if the
As they
Muppets
should.
taught us, puppets are great. All right. We might circle back to this on this very stream.
Yeah.
If not, we'll definitely circle back to it later. But Evan Complex had a question, which I am curious about because I don't have an answer for it, and I'm curious if you do. Is any solo RPGs that you've played? And I guess would recommend or strongly don't recommend.
I don't usually make a habit out of playing solo TTRPGs, mostly because the time that I'm spending playing TTRPGs, I do prefer it to be with other people. But I have taken solo RPGs and made them no longer solo.
Oh.
Quite famously, award-winningly so, actually. The game Void 1680 AM, which is a radio DJ AM radio station TTRPG where you are building a playlist of songs as you are recording your like radio station, right? Your set. And oh gosh, how many years ago was this now? I think 2 years ago. We did a season on my show called 2048 AM Voices in the Wood, where I took that game and I didn't want to, because the game also has like guests that come on to like talk to you, but you just like roll or you draw a card. It gives you some, some spark tables to let you go, okay, who's the person who called? What was our conversation? So on and so forth. I talk about that on the show. Here's the song that they chose. Boom. And I didn't want to play that game. I thought it would be cool to have people come on as guests to be like, oh yeah, I'll have them come on, they'll choose a song, so on and so forth. And then I put it in my larger setting that I run for Tales Yet Told called Sublime County, which I think you and I might have talked about before.
I think so, yeah.
But short, like really quick, imagine over the garden wall, over the garden wall mixed with the Matrix, and then where you have people who come into this weird magical foresty world, but it looks like a nature punk version of the 80s. And there's like a looming like entity known as the Stranger who says, I'm going to give everybody roles you have to live in life. This could go from job, gender, so on and so forth. Live it, and if you don't, I turn you into an animal. That's the setting. This was a radio show inside of that setting, where there was a kid whose role was that they were supposed to be a host or entertainer. And so for his senior year project, he starts a radio show where he has people call in and stuff, and he plays music that comes from outside of this setting, like from the real world that people came from. He was born in this world, though, so has never been outside of this world. and is talking to people who have vague connections to it, and his only connection to it is that his dad comes from the real world. And it's this weird surrealist horror as people are calling in talking about their problems, some of them actively transforming throughout their lives and are having to deal with it, because it's not like a snap, like and you're an animal. It's like a slow chronic illness slowly overtaking you until you become an animal. And so it's the 17-year-old mostly getting trauma dumped on by a lot of adults who are coming in asking him for advice about what does it mean to live in this world and how I do it. And it was so much fun. Like the game, again, this was supposed to be a solo game where I was just sitting here choosing songs and then like making up conversations, but it became this like like at a certain point I was just hosting like a fake radio show. And like for the pre-production we gathered all the music from a bunch of independent artists who all donated their music to be used as a part of this project. And so like a huge list of like 60 something songs that people when they were making their characters got to choose from. And then when I came to them like, okay, boom, you can choose your character, you can have them go through whatever they want. When we get into the call, we're just improvising like a call, a radio show call. And then at the end of it, you will tell me the song that you want to play, right? Based on what you had already chosen. And the actual recording of it, because we got all of that done beforehand, recording an episode quite literally was just like hosting a radio show where I started hosting and I'm like, oh, we got a caller. Hey, caller. And they started talking. And then when they were like, okay, here's the song, I just pressed the little button in Zencaster and the song started playing. And we sat there for like 2 minutes listening to a song. And it was it was such a strange and beautiful act to do with my friends, of sitting here playing these characters and then listening to music. And it was so weird feeling how the songs changed based on what we had just done. Because I had listened to some of the music, because they'll tell me the song and I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm downloading it. I'm putting it on the thing. But after doing a whole set that they kind of had this song in the back of their head for, and then we play out this surrealist horror situation where I'm a 17-year-old kid and like this cafeteria lady who's slowly losing her mind as and like experiencing the hallucinations of like a family member who's not actually there, and like she's dealing with her skin starting to peel because of the animal she's turning into, but she doesn't realize that. And then she starts playing me a song about, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, that was crazy. What song do you want to play? And then there's a song that like has these thematic through line. Like it feels like there were some times where we were just sitting there like, God, this is wild. And it was just so much fun.
That's
Void 1680 AM. Play it.
Void 1680 AM. Okay. I like that.
Play it. Good game.
That's cool.
Better to play with friends.
Yeah. Well, there's one answer for you. I do really like using like the Kuleshov effect to give this song another meaning, which is really, really neat. That's such a cool thing.
Someone asked, yes, you can find all of Tales Yet Told. It's down there. Or if you look me up on Blue Sky or whatever, you can always find it. 2048 AM, Voices in the Wood. You could probably search it on whatever podcatcher. It's on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever. It was so much fun. And it like, yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking about that game. That was a good
reminiscing.
Game.
Void 1680 AM, you said?
Yes.
Correct? Okay, yes. And that's correct, Evan.
Zine around here somewhere.
As a zine, even better.
Yeah, because it's pretty short.
Yeah, which is a thing I like about a lot of solo RPGs that I've looked at, is like they're designed to be fairly short, which is pretty cool. Like, I
Yes.
guess because, it's a meditative process or journaling or something. And it's not like, and here's where a lot of RPGs like, well, we're expecting you to play for 2 to 6 hours because you're a group of people versus the solo stuff where it's
Hmm.
like, we know you're going to want to like do laundry or something else eventually. So like, it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like they're built for the same length of time, which coming
Well, I was
from fully joint play stuff is like hard to wrap my head around, which is probably one of the reasons I haven't tried one yet.
Well, I would say there's a lot of them that are meant for long-term play in like a days, weeks, months kind of way.
Mm.
Because like it is journaling to a certain degree. So you do get like a lot of adventure RPGs, like Colossal comes to mind. Um, that is like, okay, you're delving a dungeon. You can put this down whenever you want and pick it back up. Kind of like a video game, but you're
Ooh.
journaling. Because you'll roll dice for your characters, and it's just a kind of personal experience in a way that I haven't given a genuine try, because most of the ones that I've done are journaling more so than they are like that kind of like, I'm playing a game that could have been a multiplayer experience, but it is a singular player experience. Um yeah, I haven't, yeah, most of mine have been like journaling, like narrative kind of vibe, more so than they've been a more like adventure-y um thing. But generally, most of like the benefit of them is that they can take as long as you would like, because also because it's only you can stop whenever you want, pick it back up.
That's a good point.
You don't have to worry about, hey guys, I gotta go to the bathroom, can we I'm not going to hear this part of play, right? Play only you, the play experience is yours and yours alone, unless you choose to share it with some people through recording a post play like kind of wrap up, because a lot of people like will do it and then post about their experience in like a blog form or things of that nature, so other people can still experience it. Um, so I don't know. It comes in a lot of different forms. I don't think solo play is for everyone. I'm not convinced it's for me, but I do conceptually enjoy it because I enjoy TTRPGs.
Yeah. I think that's, I don't know, just one of the fun things about it is like, oh cool, that's not for me. Great. I'm glad it's there for someone else.
Exactly. I'm glad this thing exists.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's a couple suggestions. I have none for you. Sorry, because I haven't played any, so I can't recommend any. So if that
I'm
answers your
sure it does.
question, let us know. And if not, tell
No,
us and we'll try again.
we'll try again.
Um, a nuclear. First of all, thank you very much for the follow-up. A nuclear who ran was mentioning before, they ran a game for like 10 people, and was on here asking for some advice and like getting hyped and stuff. And they mentioned that it
Mhm.
went great. I'm super glad it went so
Oh
well.
yeah.
You crushed it. Good job. And also had a question, which is, what is the most ridiculous setting you've seen for a TTRPG? My vote is Eyeless Smile. You all live in a large building that walks on 2 legs around, and all you can eat is gourds and melons. I've never heard of Eyeless Smile, but that sounds fun.
What? That is sick. I'm trying to think. What is the most ridiculous
I've got
concept for a setting?
a few. I played one homebrew where we were all intelligent insects who were getting shrunk down smaller to go into a human body to fight off like infections and stuff inside of it. And
Like
someone,
Osmosis
yeah,
Jones?
like that. But we
Oh,
were
that's so
insects,
cool.
and someone was a gunslinger centipede who had like 10 guns like on, or like 20 guns, 10 on each side. Um that was weird.
I There was a game that a friend of mine ran for me back like early mid pandemic. That I don't remember the name of I don't remember the name of the setting itself, but I do remember that the name of the campaign was called Spaghetti and Spiders. Um, and there was, and and this was a the spaghetti part was kind of brought on because one of the players was making a character whose whole thing was that they were a pasta pun. And I really wish I think there was like Mac Alfredo was his name. And like it was like he was like a wizard or a sorcerer who had like a long spaghetti noodle that was basically his
Like his wizard
his
staff.
familiar.
Oh,
Uh
that's so good.
and because like yeah, it was just like a big spaghetti snake essentially. Um and it kind of like slowly rolled into like there was a larger like it wasn't like just that like it was like an ancestry of people that were pasta people who all had there and they had like a mafia um and like we were like trapped at like a wedding at a point. It was kind of wild, and then there was a lot of drow stuff happening, which is the spider part. But I think the like weird pasta people was is definitely up there in the most ridiculous setting.
That's amazing. I love a weird pasta pun person.
Actually, that game
Yeah.
is the game that I played Kochka in the first time from our
Oh,
like that was the game that was the originator of that character for that one shot.
nice. Spoilers for everybody. That one shot is not out yet, but maybe Kendo is part of a one shot that I DM'd that I have been hinting
Oh,
at for a while, but
oh.
who knows?
Well,
Who
I can
knows?
only hit more. I can only hit more. I don't
uh
know why I didn't realize that it was. You know
no,
what? I
it's
hadn't
good.
seen it posted yet, and I'm like, maybe I just missed it.
Nope,
And
not
it's
yet.
because it's not out yet. Very nice, very nice.
um there's a couple of that was like a homebrew one. There's a couple of very weird ones that I have played. Have you played the Triangle Agency?
No, but I want to.
It it is legitimately weird. And
Yeah.
it's weird in a this is going to take a while to get through. It's weird in a meta level on top of the game. So in the game, you work for the Triangle Agency, and there's weird stuff happening. It's very like SCP X Files, Eureka, something like that, where it's like unexplainable things are happening, and it's your job to contain them or you know figure out what's going wrong, fix things, and avoid mass problems from the thing that is making gravity work backwards. uh and like it's they do a really good job of being creative in like how the things you're interacting with. They do a really good job of being
Mhm.
creative in like the powers you have. And so like you always are attached to some anomaly and it is giving you some powers. And they're like very weird and loose. Like mine was based on finding pathways. So like I could roll to just open doors that would lead to somewhere else. Not necessarily
Ooh,
what was on
that's
the other side of the
good.
door. Or I had the power to flip gravity in like specific places or for specific people depending on how I roll. Other people had like one was the whole like basically the gun from Control. That was
Mhm.
one class's power. Um,
Oh,
and then there's
yeah, like Warehouse 13 a little bit.
yeah, very much Warehouse 13, which is a spinoff of Eureka. Um,
And I love both.
and so there's the weird stuff like that, but then the game itself, like you're not allowed to read certain things in the book as a player or a DM. And then as you get XP, you have to choose tracks to gain XP in, where it's like your career, your social life, or the weird stuff that's happening to you in like one other one. And then you'll get access to different pages in the rule book that you can then read. And it changes how you perceive the world, both as the character, but also you as a player of understanding what might be happening.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's so cool.
it's weird. And our DM who was running it was kind of frustrated by it because there's so much that like they don't tell the DM that he's
Mhm.
trying to like build up stuff too, and then they'll like show a new rule and he's like, well now this thing I built doesn't make sense or it doesn't work and I spent so much time doing this. So like
No.
there's some level of frustration there, but like it was truly weird and I liked that a lot.
Yeah. How did you find playing it? Like, cause I like vaguely understand the way I understand the mechanics, but I haven't like, I should go and watch like an actual play of it. But how did you feel about playing it?
As a player, I loved it. I thought it was very fun, very imaginative. I don't
Mhm.
think I would ever want to run it. There's just
Fascinating.
too many spinning plates for a DM in that for me to be able to function.
Yeah. Oh, that almost makes me want to try it more.
Well, if you need a player for it, I'm game.
That's there's an actual play building in me now thinking about this because I
Okay.
think one of my favorite things about actual play as an art form is the kind of parallel narrative that's happening, the fiction that you are creating using the game, and then the story about the people who are making the game, like in a way of like almost watching the director's commentary as you're watching the film.
Mm,
Um, and there's a part of me that thinks it would be fascinating to have a triangle agency game where like you have the episodes that like, oh, people are doing the adventure or whatever,
mhm.
and then the one episode of the GM just being like, what the fuck is going on? What do I do now? It's like, okay, and like going through the paperwork of it, and, like, which still feels very much in the fiction of the game as well, because the game makes you do
It
paperwork
does. It
and like,
does. Like there is your character sheet is like 8 pages long, and when you finish a mission, you have literal paperwork to fill out. And like
yes,
it does work mechanically and narratively, but like it's paperwork and it's very funny. I also
yeah,
love that you have one of the ways that there's like multiple ways to level and like you're kind of doing them all at the same time in different periods and for different reasons. And one of them
mhm.
is you ask a question to the other players about what your character would do in a situation, and how they answer is the answer you have to put down because it is how you are being perceived. So like
Oh,
if
that's
you like, oh,
fascinating.
someone's getting mugged, would you run and help or ignore it? And it's like based on how other people have seen you act, they give an answer and you follow through with it.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's
I
wild.
gotta play this game. I gotta play this game. I'm gonna have to watch an actual play of it first to understand what shapes it's supposed to take, but
Triangles. All triangles is the shapes it
triangles, yeah,
takes. Yeah.
triangles is the shape that name of the game,
Yeah.
quite literally.
Yep. And, like, they do really fun things, like, I mean, you only roll D4s, so because 'cause they're triangles, like, and it's all about threes, so, like, 3 is
Mhm.
actually the number you want on the D4, and, like, the
Yeah.
number of threes is the number of successes, and if you get 3 threes, you get a special thing. Um,
Mhm.
but, like, spoilers, once you start learning new things, you actually can start introducing new dies, but, like, you're supposed to not address them, and, like, it's it's wild. Like, I do
It's
on the
so
subject
fast.
of weird games, it's definitely, like, near the top of the cake. I don't taking the
Yeah.
cake. It's there.
Do you think that it's a game best done in person, or does it have a similar experience online?
I did it in person, but I could definitely see it being done online.
Okay.
'Cause especially since it's not a matter of, like there's no, like, grids or,
Yeah.
like, space is very nebulous of, like, the
Yeah.
the power I had of, like, gravity is, like, everything in a room reverses gravity, or if I'm outside, everything within, like, 10 feet of me or, like, something
Yeah.
where it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's around you. Um,
Okay. Okay.
and, like,
It's just okay.
yeah, like,
Mhm.
distance of portals is, like if you succeed, it goes where it would be helpful, and if you fail, it doesn't. Or, like, if you're being chased, there was one that I had that was specifically when you're being chased, you can, like, go through, and when someone goes through the same door after you, they'll, if on a success, go somewhere else, and on a failure, will just show up right where you are.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's very weird, and it's really
Yeah.
cool, and I'm never going to run it.
That's, you know what? I don't blame you. I do not blame you.
Well, one other weird one I'll say is in the Troika system.
Mm-hmm.
There's I think it's called Slate and Chalcedony, or think I'm
That
saying
sounds
Chalcedony wrong, but
that
it's like
sounds familiar. I haven't played Troika though.
it's a weird system. But after playing Triangle Agency, I'm like, it's a little tame, but it's actually really weird. But it's like these two wizard towers, and your task to like get them out of there. I think they're like sucking up all the life like around them. It's just spreading, and you're like, these have to go. So it's your job to figure out what's going on and how to get rid of them, either by blowing them up or talking to the wizards or doing whatever. And like one I
Mhm.
think is like kind of a mechanical one, which is the one we like almost never went to, and the other one is some sort of weird like bio horror living tower kind of thing where there's just like
Oh, that's so cool.
brain matter in places that are clearly part of an entity that is still alive, and you can talk to these different things, and it's like infested with these like weird big like mites that part of your mission can be like, oh, if we root these out, these might be the problem. And
Mhm.
it's like fleshy and weird, it's wild, there's untrustworthy NPCs and cool NPCs, and it's just bizarre.
That's so cool. I gotta play Troika. Hmm.
It's neat. I like Troika. It's definitely not one of my favorite systems, but it does some cool stuff that's like, wow, I appreciate you taking a swing on that. Like that's neat.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you have any other weird RPGs you've thought of before we move on?
Weird is such a fun subjective term.
Right?
Like, yeah, like I love the setting of Realis.
What's Realis?
It's Austin Walker's game through Possible Worlds. It kickstarted like earlier this year. It's currently it's my favorite game. Um, but the world of it is that there is this planet called
Okay.
Realis, with this planetary body called Realis, and around it is 1,000 orbiting moons,
It's a lot of
all
moons.
within like they are all there's systems in which they all orbit this planet. There are 1,000 moons, and each of these moons has the power to shape reality. Each of them are so incredibly different from the other, some of them different shapes, holding different forms of life. And either through the moons or through the power of Realis itself, a planetary body through which only like a dozen people have ever been to and returned from, has held the power to prevent total destruction through the encroaching void that has already eaten the rest of the universe.
Whoa.
There, beneath the body of Realis is a hungering void that is constantly just at the edges, wanting to swallow everything up. And above Realis is the final dying star, the corpse sun, which shines upon the rest of like acts as basically the only light for Realis outside of its own glowing body and all of the moons that surround it. And it is a weird science, like psychedelic science fantasy like space opera that's like a mixtures of like Star Wars, Dark Souls, Berserk. It's just like wild. And the book itself was written from like the perspective of one of the factions in this setting, who are these like
Mm.
I can't remember the name of them because Austin just loves coming up with like the most like crazy ass names that are like basically they view themselves as like the academics and like archivists of like everything that's happening in the world, and they view the world in a way that aligns to the mechanics of the system. And so
Mm.
them writing the game is them telling you how the world works. But it only works
Oh.
that way because that's the way that they perceive it. And so when you are playing the game, you are in line with how this one particular faction views the world to exist, which means the world can exist in other ways, and they admit to it in the game. Where like in the writing, they're like, well, this is how my Realis works. Your Realis might work
Oh,
differently
that's
and might look
fun.
differently and might have different moons, but I'm just letting you know how I see this world. And it is like the book is weird, the world building is weird, and it is also juicy. So good.
That sounds incredible, and I love that.
Realis is so good. It is, and the art gorgeous. Ugh.
How do you spell
So
Realis? I have to put that in a tab.
Realis. And the way that the mechanics work actually is it's sentence based mechanics in which you are just comparing the ranks or power of various sentences. And so a character will have a number of class sentences that they get from their class. Like the berserkers is one of their sentences is I always kill my foe. And that at its base is like the weakest it can be. It is a broad general statement that can be used kind of whenever, and it is your reality. And whenever you are acting on something, if something counters it, they are trying to counter with their own reality, right? So if I'm like, oh, you and me in a sword fight, okay, yeah, I'm trying to lop off your head. That is my intent. My means by doing so is my sentence. I always kill my foe, right? And if you
Yeah.
had a sentence that was I always I always escape for my life.
Mm.
Would be also a rank 0 sentence just based on its construction. And because you are the counter actor, you win this thing. There's the attackers or
Like
the
instigator?
actors. Yeah, it's actor and counter actor. So the
Oh,
actor
okay.
has been countered in this moment because they are both equal sentences. Because Realis is a place that prizes passivity except after wisdom gain. Is how the game describes
Mm.
that it prefer that that the defender always wins a tie. Um, and there are various ways for you to modify the power of your sentence over over the course of play as it levels up. You get countered a number of times, you build up experience, and then you get to you get to realize a sentence, which is usually just adding on modifiers to the sentence to make it more narrow. So in this case, right, let's say you had I'm going to just start saying mechanics, but it will make sense as I'm saying them. If in this counter, right, you're like, oh, I have a rank 0 sentence, I've heard this person's sentence, I know it's a rank 0 sentence, I'm going to lose, but I haven't honed a sentence yet this session, which lets you temporarily realize a sentence to make it stronger for the rest of the session. And
Oh.
so you can do it now and go, okay, well, right now we're in a field of grass, and so I can make this sentence stronger by saying when standing in a field I always kill my foe. And so
Mm.
that becomes a rank 1 sentence, which then defeats the rank 0 sentence. However, you can now only use that sentence if you're standing in a field.
Mm.
The more narrow it becomes, the more specific of a person you become, the stronger you are. But the weaker you are, you're more archetypal. You're a broader character that hasn't yet realized into whatever you become, hopefully by the end of your story.
I love that structure.
It's so good.
Oh no. I gotta play
It's so
this.
good.
That sounds great.
I currently run it for a table for start playing, and it's my only way to make sure I can consistently play this game. Um, is by is by making it work. But I love it, so I'm having a great time, and my players also love it as well.
Oh my gosh. That That sounds incredible. I'm glad you mentioned that because now I
Yeah,
feel good.
everybody go get Realis. The hardcover I think prints later this year, and it
Ooh.
is a chonky book. Beautiful, but chonky.
A nuclear, if that answers your question, let us know, and if not, we'll try again. But I feel like those were some significantly weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got
RPGs.
like 50 it's got like 55 classes in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, no, it's got more than that. Yeah, 20 playable classes, or so 2980. Is that what that
Jeez.
is? Something like that. Yeah.
20 times 9?
Yeah. It's a big book. It's a big book. And each of the classes are only one page because it's literally a sentence that you are getting from them. So it's like all flavor, the sentences, your class sentences, your bond sentences, which is like, hey, how do I feel about this other person? Which you can then use as a means. And then whatever your dream is, which is like the thing that motivates you. And you can only use that sentence once ever, because it's like
Ooh.
the internal like stores of like, this is the thing motivating me. If I do this, I will succeed no matter the cost. But it is like I've used up all of my motivation and energy trying to do that. I now am no longer the person whose dream it was to become the greatest swordsman in all of Realis. I am now the person whose dream was to become the greatest swordsman in all of Realis. And what does that mean for a
Yeah.
character?
Like either you succeeded at it or you've accepted that it's not feasible.
Yeah. Because you've used all of that last bit of energy that you had that was meant for trying to reach your dream, and you expended it all, hopefully in the pursuit of something worthwhile, right? But that's the story. You got to figure out what happens.
That's rad. Oh my gosh, I love that. Evan asked, do you need to keep a journal in Realis to keep track of all of this? Is there a good way? Is that like just part of the character sheet where everything is structured easily for like all these sentences?
Oh yes, like because none of the sentences get like too long, like because it is just like a singular sentence that might add like a handful of words over the time of its growth. There's plenty of space on the character sheet, and overall your character is getting like 4 class sentences, their 2 bond sentences, their dream sentence, and then their team sentence. So 8 sentences, and then they might get some ephemera, which are like magic items, essentially, or items powerful enough to get their own sentence that you can then use and pick up. But they have like a limited number of charges. So it's like, it's not a ton of stuff to keep track of at all. It's like, at most, you're keeping track of the like 10 sentences on your sheet. And then there are the moon sentences, because each moon has its own set of sentences that tell you what the people are like there and what they like archetypically what they do, right? And then what different spaces on that moon will do, like different places or territories. It's a way for a GM to basically be like, okay, generally what kind of people are here that matter, in order, and like so we can flavor that. And then also, what are the different places that might matter or come up on this moon? And then players can also use moon sentences by spending a meta currency that they get for doing stuff. So that they can either add new sentences to the moon to help shift the story in their favor, or, use one of the other ones in a time where it might be the most helpful for them. And then on the GM side, you're dealing with NPCs, factions, and then moons as sentences. But it's not like a complex character sheet. It is just a bunch of sentences. It's a little bit of prep. It's like, on the GM side, it's like a decent bit of prep to sit down and like make all of the characters and factions and stuff. But it is just writing sentences. And there are so many times where I'm sitting there making a new sentence and I go, damn, that's a good sentence. I can't wait for them to hear that, which is like a thing I never thought I would be saying. But like sometimes, actually, hold on, wait, I can Let me just. I can say what some of these sentences are.
I think
I know I've
that's
completely derailed
no,
us.
you're fine. It's still weird stuff. We're fine. Um, I like that because I feel like in my head, that's kind of how I build characters is just
Hmm.
by sentences, and then I figure out what system I'm using, and then figure out the mechanics to fit that. Just
Hmm.
having it be a sentence and like that's the mechanic. Oh my gosh, that sounds like my dream.
I mean, hey, then yeah, no, that's literally all this game is. In my game that I'm running, there's this cult, and okay, yeah. So I have this NPC called Vakan, the starving tongue of the undoing, who's a part of basically like a death cult that thinks that reality was a mistake. We shouldn't have survived. The rest of the universe got eaten up. We also should have. We
Mm.
need to undo the mistake that is the fact that any of us exist. Um, my concept for him was that he's a toad-like cultist of the undoing, made as a weapon to defend the sect. So he had his body experimented on to make be more toad-like. So he's this like kind of like stout person with like an elongated face and a super long tongue. And his sentences are, I always taste the presence of non-believers. My tongue always stretches in unnatural and painful ways. And when I restrain the foes of the undoing with my cursed tongue, I always shatter them with my strength.
Nice.
Which like has like a bit of a like there's ways where it's like as a GM I want to do something stronger and like I don't quite know how to make a sentence that will justify just doing that in a way that doesn't feel unfair. But you
Hmm.
can kind of create your own limitations because you get to make the sentences and go, oh, well, before I use when I restrain the foes of the undoing with my cursed tongue, I always shatter them with my strength. I first have to restrain them with my tongue.
Hmm.
So I have a weaker sentence that helps me set that up. And so there's like a kind of ramping difficulty. It's like weird the way that like balancing for this game kind of works, where it's just all language that in a way that's really fun.
That's really cool. All right, well, there's your
Yeah.
answer for weird games.
There's your answer for weird games.
uh, and before we go to the next question, El Rampa, thank you so much for gifting 7 subs to people. That's really nice of you. Thanks.
Aw.
Uh, super weird and super interesting. Yeah, I agree. It's bizarre stuff.
Yeah.
Dorinithal asked tangential question, I think from when we were talking about this earlier with awards, saying what arbitrary awards would you give out to different games slash groups that they could use in their marketing in the future?
For Realis, best brain rot. Best game to give me brain rot. Because there was like the first time I started like really reading through it, I was like, I gotta run this game, and then I ran like 4 within like within like a very short period of time, because I just it's so good, it's so good. What are the best emulation of what it feels like to both watch and be on reality TV goes to Game Master Monday. They have this their streamed version of their actual plays on on Twitch. They're called Shadowy Productions, and they have a series of actual plays that are like um spoofs on existing reality TV shows. So they have a show called Castaway that's Survivor, but if the production crew lets you die and also let you kill people, and like it's structured exactly like Survivor. You've got like you've got all these teams going up against each other in some dangerous place. They could go out like look for immunity skulls. They're voting people off. But also, you could just kill someone to prevent yourself from getting voted off if that's your vibe. Um, they also have another one, Love After Life, which is The Bachelorette. But if The Bachelorette was a vampire, so everybody was trying to be like, "Hey, I want to be with you forever," and It's just great. It's so
That's
much
incredible.
fun. It's I'm very lucky to Grant, Grant, Jen, Sylvia, Taz. They are all doing such amazingly fun stuff, and they do it for charity as well. Like each of the shows are for charity. The current season of Castaway, which happened yesterday because it's every Wednesday and it's so good. Is oh gosh, what are they raising money for? I forgot. I can find out really quick because it's Game Master Monday everywhere online. They are raising money for, gosh, what is it again? My brain. National Immigration Law Center to help
Hey,
people raise money for immigration services,
that's a
and
great
they've
cause.
great cause. And they've raised like $2,100. Like they're doing great
Nice.
work over there.
That's awesome.
I very much suggest checking, keeping an eye on them because they're only like they added new people to their group, so they're getting larger and larger. Um, it is, it's so cool to see my friends doing such awesome work.
That's really cool. Oh,
But no, having been on the show on both of those shows, it there it's hard not to be competitive because you kind of do want to win. And like the people watch it, they get like rabid over it. They've got, it's the same kind of feeling of people who watch reality TV because they're just watching it happen with these characters. um and it's so much fun. It's so cool. So much fun.
that's really cool. Uh, for words, I would give Fate the award of most likely for me to go. Wouldn't this be easier if I ran it in Fate though? For every game I play, the
And you're
would this
not
be better
wrong.
if I ran it in Fate award awarded to Fate.
Congratulations, Fate.
Yeah,
Evil Hat. You did good work.
they do. I might have convinced a friend of mine to run a game that he wanted to run, and he was trying to explain it, and I was like, if you did that in Fate, you could do bup bup bup, and then because it was based on like an idea and like an actual play that he saw,
Mhm.
and wanted to do something similar, but like wasn't familiar with the systems. He's like, well, I got to do it in something else. It's like, have
Well,
you
you
heard the
could
good
do it in
word?
Fate.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hadn't played Fate until you and I had talked about it, and you sold me. It's good.
It's
it's
good.
it's good. It's just good.
And like I think that my soapbox, that's one of the things that makes RPGs good is that there are multiple good systems. Like it's not like I literally want to run everything in Fate. I'll run most things because it's great. But it's like, but I want to play the game that you said, Realis, uh,
Yeah,
because it is structured differently. Like the idea of like everything should be done in the same system or that you only play one system is just it's just robbing yourself of such a wealth of cool ideas and experiences that you only have because it is different, because it is built a particular way, because the creation of it has a goal in mind.
yeah. It's the I mean, yeah, no, I have nothing more to add. No, you got the nail on the head there.
Sweet.
It's like, yeah, no, playing different games are going to give you different experiences, and you can't get those experiences in games that aren't that.
Yeah.
And so, regardless if the output feels the same, I don't know why I used output, but but like, regardless of if the game that you would get still feels similar, it won't be that experience, and that's why playing all of those different games is good because you get to have a variety of experiences. My cat is beginning to yell at me because I need to feed her, so I will be right
Oh, okay.
back.
Quick break, everybody. Cats need to be fed. Which, by the way, if you have a cat, check to see if it needs food. And also, if you're a person, stay hydrated. Cat is screaming and going near food, so I don't think Cat will be on stream. It's a sign. That's right. I think this
Returned.
is third guest who has talked about or shown their cat
Uh,
on the
Bug is
stream in
not
a
a very
row.
cuddly cat. She might. I was expecting her to come and walk out on here to be like, "Hey, it's food time, asshole."
Excuse me, excuse me.
I know you're talking, but I haven't eaten in, well, not a long time. However, I'd love to eat now.
I do love completely unrelated to games. I love cats that don't give a shit about you. They're where they just do their own thing, and then at some point they're like, I could take a pet. And then they'll walk up to you and you pet them, they're like, that was enough. And then
Exactly.
they leave. I love them.
That's Bug.
Yeah.
That's Bug. Bug has her every now and then. She's like, okay, yeah, I'll lay on top of you. But she very rarely is a cat that's like, oh, I haven't seen you all day. Oh, oh, I've been so neglected. If only someone would pet me. Like, that's not really who Bug is. But she will kind of like walk by and go, okay, it's time. Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, you had your fill. I'm leaving now.
That's so great. Um Lena Loki-kun with our question, which was yay or nay on bards making playlists for songs that they play in the game, either to be played live or for players to just enjoy the soundtrack of the game.
I do kind of love that.
Yeah, I'm into it. I
I do
I
kind of love that.
I appreciate extra work. Like that, oh, I heard a song and like when I want to do bardic inspiration to encourage someone to like in battle, I'm going to use this song, or like in a social situation, I'm going to use this song. Like I love those sorts of extra touches that the players or DMs do.
Yeah. There
So,
is I had a player in like a game back in college who actually still plays with me today on Tales Get Told.
hey,
Um he would bring out his what is it called? It's like the piano harmonica. Do you know what I'm talking about?
you blow into it. It's like
And
a
there's
little
like
hose.
and there's like a
Yeah, yeah,
keyboard.
yeah. I was literally talking to my partner about that instrument because I could not remember the name of it, but like it was all over Magfest. So many people playing it.
I mean, it's great. And he would bring it to our sessions to play because because yes, a melodica. Yes, thank you.
Melodica.
Because I was in the fine arts dorm in college and he was a music composition major. And so obviously he was playing a bard. And yeah, no, he would bring it to sessions to like play and it was like, yeah,
That's
this is
fun.
good. Casting spells and playing it was so good. Much better than when the player who a different music person at my dorm who played the trumpet who would come who would play the trumpet for the game, which was a little bit too loud in an enclosed space with really bad acoustics.
Yeah, the trumpet and I think like a full drum set probably not as conducive.
Just play. Honestly, have you ever watched those like videos of like a drummer not like dubbing like a scene from a show, but like kind of scoring it with like just drums, like to the rhythm of the
No.
people's speech patterns? It's really
That
cool. I
sounds
love it.
incredible.
I love it. That I think could be kind of fun as long as it wasn't too bad. But I feel like I feel like that there's like a thin line between that being fun and enjoyable during play.
Yeah.
You trying to talk and like a drummer there trying to match your speech.
It does seem like it would be very distracting and your speech would change because they're doing a thing and then they start doing a thing differently and then they're throwing each other off.
It's making me think of those scenes of Birdman where where like there would be the drummer that's like playing as they're moving through the space and he'd just like pop up out of nowhere, and you'd be like, "Oh, whoa, this soundtrack is getting weird," and you're like, "Oh no, it's diegetic. The drummer's right there," and then they would like move, and he'd go off screen to continue to play somewhere else and not on set.
I do love the visual of a player at the table in a swivel chair being like bardic inspiration and then having to turn to play the full drum set because it can't be in front of him because that's where the table is, so it's got to be like
Yeah.
set up right here.
That's such. Or they sit out a little bit away from the table with like a stand that has their character sheet on it. But that kind of separates it. At that point, just get a full band, like a full set of bards who are all just at their own thing.
Okay.
Honestly, that sounds kind of cool. That started off as a joke,
No,
but
I've played a game. This doesn't qualify as weird compared to all the other things, but I did play a game where our party was one monk who was the lead singer of the band, 3 bards who played the music, and a roadie who was a muscle wizard. And that was our party, and it was a complete joke. And it was so much fun.
that sounds so much. That sounds great.
It was great. It was so dumb. There's so much overlap. Like, but it's really fun because it's a thing of like I love like meta party builds where you're just like, oh yeah, let's all be rogues. Why not? Sure. Or like we've done parties where it was like I think our highest AC was like whoever the spellcaster was. If they cast like magic armor on themselves, we were a party of glass cannons. And it was so fun to be like, if it doesn't die in round 1, we're screwed.
We're dead.
Yeah. And like going into it with that knowledge of like, oh well, cool. Like so like having a full party of bards also sounds delightful. A bardy,
That's
if you will.
a bardy.
Yeah.
Bardy Hardy.
Lena Loki-kun. So yes, we think it's a great idea.
Yeah, do it.
I would venture more on the side of bring songs and they kind of play in the background versus like we're all going to stop and listen to them unless you're playing the RPG you mentioned earlier. But yeah, because if you trust them with a musical instrument, then yeah, let them have it. But the list of people I trust with a musical instrument at the RPG table is a lot smaller than those I don't trust. So be mindful of that. If
no,
you say
exactly.
yes. Because someone comes wandering up with a guitar and starts playing, and they only know Wonderwall.
And then, yes, no, absolutely. Make sure your table's okay with it. This, all of this, communicate with your table.
Yeah, absolutely. Every week we'll say it. Communicate with your table. Communicate with your table. Very important.
Communicate with your table.
Most important thing. We're coming up on 6. We have one question left, so we'll bang that out before we go. From Dorinithal saying, any ideas of you thought would be fun to play, but couldn't figure out a way to make it work mechanically? The straightforward way seems to be use a different game system. And yeah, if you can find a different game system that works, that is a great way to do it. Like, again, kind of what we were mentioning earlier, different systems are made for different things and they excel in different ways. So like if you want to do a mystery, use a system that's a mystery, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah. I would also say don't be afraid to do that even in the middle of your game.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite things is in the middle of a campaign, it's like, okay, we've gotten to a different section where we're dealing with something else that we could just use our same game. However, there might be a different game that helps tell the story in a way that our other game couldn't. Right now I'm playing for my show. We're at a point where we need to do like a bit of a time skip. And because some people need to heal after some pretty bad wounds, so they're going to be here for like a couple of weeks, months, maybe even an entire season. In which case, I was like, okay, what if for this period of time, because narratively, like seasons have just changed for one reason or another from fall into winter. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take the singular winter season from the quiet year, take all of those cards, and I also built some other mechanics on top of it because the quiet year isn't really like a character based game, or
Mm-hmm.
not really. Um, but I wanted to add like some mechanics to like be like, hey, you are a person playing this. You are not taking over the entire community. That is my job as the GM, but your character is still here and can be a part of projects and still talk to people. And so we are spending the weeks where each of them gets one action. They can start a project, they can talk to someone, they can hang out with someone, or they can focus on a project, or they can explore and discover more of the place around them. And then we all do that, and then we pull a card from the quiet year, and it's like, okay, 1 week has passed, something has shifted in the world, now we can do some other stuff, and allows us to do, okay, they can heal during this time because that's a project that's passively going. They can start other long-term projects that are passively going as well, and then they can have scenes where they're hanging out with people, having the conversations they want to have in character, and we just know that the mechanics of the other game are true. All of the abilities and stuff that they had from that other game
Mm-hmm.
don't stop being true. If there's some like, hey, we're not sure if this would work, we'll just use the same rolling mechanics from that game. But narrative wise, we have switched over to this weird hacked version of the quiet year to help us spend the time in a way that just playing our also weird hacked version of Kids on Bikes wouldn't have allowed for, because that's not really within the mechanics of that game.
Yeah. I like that a lot, especially specifically what you said where it's like, oh, if there's a thing that relates to a power you had from the previous game, just use those rules. And then
Exactly.
that's very smart.
Because yeah, because the quiet year one doesn't have mechanics as far as like figuring out if you are able to do stuff, because that's not what that game is interested in,
Right.
right? And so this weird blending of these games helps both of the situations where, well, I didn't have a way to make time pass by quickly, I
Mm-hmm.
will use the mechanics of this game to help do that. And within that, if I want some like, hey, you're doing a skill, you're trying to accomplish something, we'll just roll using that stuff. And that way, both of those things, yeah, they're just affecting each other in a way that's fun and
Yeah.
allows play to keep going. But you could even have more drastic stuff where previous season of the same game, there was a character who ended up at a church where the leader of the church was like, hey, so I need to show you why the life that you were living was bad, why you should, as a part of your healing process to come over from your like curse or whatever, you need to change some things. I got a tape for you to watch. Here's this tape. It is going to show you why your life outside of this world would have been bad, and why you should stay here. It's propaganda. And instead of continuing to play the same game, we started to play the game Epitaph, which is it's an epitaph building game where you are building out the life of a person from their life to their death, talking about all the things like as if you were doing someone's epitaph. And for the part of the story where she is watching this video that is about an alternative version of her life and death, we all just sat together and told the story of what was happening on that video, playing that game. And then we came back to the other game to be like, okay, you just watched the video, the story we just told. What's your reaction to that? And so you can play around with games, choose different games to play at different times. It's your game, it's your story, your table. No one's has a gun to your head being like, well, you gotta keep playing this game forever. You can just play what you want, do what you want.
It's very true.
Games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah. I I think that's a great way to do it, is because then you don't have to like hard pivot of, well, now we're only doing this. Like, yeah, introduce a new element of that.
Hmm.
And also that it could be kind of what you're saying for like a season of like, hey, everybody at the table, we're gonna do this for like 3 games. It's gonna be this. And then, when we'll come back, we're gonna be that all of that has happened, and then we'll be using the system again.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I think straightforward of use a different system is generally the easiest way to do it. You can also start hacking the system you're in, but like if you break one thing, it's going to break something else down the line. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You just have to be aware of it. And like I've said before, some systems just aren't as well suited for certain things. And
Yeah.
also, it's a great way to get people more comfortable with other systems. So if you want to just run a game in a different system, they may not be as apprehensive about it.
Yeah, because they already have buy-in, right? If it
Mm-hmm.
is adding on to a story they've already been telling, and you go, hey, this will let us explore this from a different aspect, either thematically, emotionally, or just perspective-wise, right? That might be a pitch that interests them, where it's like, oh, yeah. Another thing that I've done, I've played the actual game, The Quiet Year, in between two arcs of a setting, or in between two arcs of a campaign, because the character got a book from someone else who was like, "Hey, here's the history of our town," and then they played The Quiet Year, built the history of the town, and then those
Oh.
ramifications came in. Like that's an easy way to get them to buy in because they go, "Oh, the thing that I'm doing will just be building on top of the thing I already love,
Mm-hmm.
but in this cool other weird way, and I only have to do it for 2 or 3 sessions. Cool, whatever."
That's
And then
awesome.
they come out of it having partial ownership even, depending on the kind of game you're playing, because some games have different levels of ownership of the narrative between facilitator and players, right? In a game like Quiet Year, they got to say, well, this thing is true about the setting now, and play out, okay, this is how people reacted to it. And so when they got to see it later on, when we went back to our D&D game, they went, this is how all of these things dominoed into this cool thing. And they got to say, I helped make that happen.
That's rad. I really like that a lot. I want to
Right?
steal that.
Please make your games weirder.
Yes, everybody, weirder. All right, it is 6, so we are gonna wrap. Thank you so much for coming, Kendo.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having me.
everybody for showing up. Last pitch, let people know where they can find your award-winning actual play show and all the other cool things you do.
So thank you. Hey everybody. I've been Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. If you like weird stories full of horror, um, uh, um, my own weird feelings about the world we live in, and lots of messing around with systems and trying to see how they can all be blended together to help tell stories that matter to us. You can find my actual play podcast, Tales Yet Told, wherever you get your podcasts, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever it is that you're listening to, you can find Tales Yet Told. Now, if you're looking to follow us online, it's at Tales Yet Told on Instagram, Threads, Tumblr, places like that, and at talesyettold.com on Blue Sky. And wouldn't you guess it, that website also just works, talesyettold.com,
Get out of
where you
here.
can find a bunch of stuff about all of our different seasons that we're doing. And you can also find yeah, we have a series, right? We have God Killer Peace and Death coming out right now. New episode comes out tomorrow. They're pretty short episodes, each of them under like 50 minutes, or like under an hour, because I think the first two are like 53-ish minutes. But yeah, it's God Killer First Blood. If you don't know it, it's a PBTA game by Connie Chong where you kill gods. And it's pretty sick. Ours takes place in a version of the world where death has not existed for the last like 26 years. People haven't been dying. And then the world adapted to that. And then all of a sudden, people start dying again. And we got to figure out why, and also react to the fact that, hey, so there's a lot of things we've been doing that we can't do anymore. We can't work ourselves to death anymore. We have to also eat. So hey, God, if you could Tritus, God of abundance and scarcity, if you could stop making us fast for days at a time, that'd be great, because we also work to give you food. And so it's stuff like that. And then maybe I kill a god over it. We'll see.
Awesome. Thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it. This was a blast.
Thank you so much. Always so much fun.
Thank you. I'm glad. That's what I aim
Yeah.
for. So thank you everybody for coming. Appreciate all the comments and questions. See you in the Discord and see you next week for more RPG Help Desk. Bye.
Bye.